What's going on, everybody? It's Look5. Welcome back to another video. Now today we are going to be going over the leaks that the Tears of the Kingdom art book shows, but I'm not going to actually show you the leaks, and I'm going to describe it to you instead. If you clicked on this video after reading the title of the video, then I'd assume that you know that spoilers follow. I mean, obviously, spoiler warning. I think that just goes without saying. If you don't want to be spoiled, I mean, click off the video. I can tell you that I'm not going to be describing all of the art that I saw. There was a lot of it. There was about like 100 different pages that leaked out of like the 300 pages in the book. None of the main story was spoiled, nothing like that, but some cool details were unveiled. Forgive me if I am cryptic. I just don't want to get like struck down by, excuse me, Nintendo. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that I saw that stood out to me was weapon crafting. So the horns that you see on the enemies' heads, and you know that there's lower tiers of enemies than higher tiers of enemies. Yeah, they all have different horns, and the higher the tier, the more dangerous the horn is, and that's because these horns will be used for different weapons. So for instance, we saw the red bokoblin, and it had like a serrated skewer, a serrated spear, skewer-like horn. All of the bokoblins are going to give you spears. All the moblins are going to give you like swords, but they're going to be used like a double-handed sword, like a hefty sword, so to speak. And the Lizalfos, the same thing. The Lizalfos is, the Silver Lizalfos actually gives you a scythe, which is insane. For instance, another thing is that the Black Bokoblin is like a trident. You saw that the Blue Bokoblin had like the forked Lysol spear as its horn. Yeah, the Black Bokoblin has like a trident as its horn. The Black Moblin, which was something we saw, the Blue Moblin, the Red Moblin. We didn't see the Black Moblin. The Black Moblin, it kind of looked like a giant acorn. I'm not gonna lie, that's sort of what its horn looked like. A very hefty, sharp acorn is like the best way that I can describe it. And then the Silver Moblin has this giant, like curved dragon horn looking thing, and all of these in the book, it shows that you can, they just use a traveler sword, but I'm sure that you can put it on different swords or whatever, but they just use the traveler sword. So basically just think all the horns at the tip of your sword can be used to craft different weapons. Also, we theorized that there was going to be like Keese eyes and whatnot, which attached to the arrows, and then once you had like the Keese eye arrow, and you shot it back with your bow and arrow, it would hone in on the target because the Keese eye can see where it's going. That was true. Our speculation in that department was correct. There were several Keese eyeballs shown in the book, and then there are also Keese eyeballs attached to arrows, so that's definitely a thing. There's also different kinds of Keese eyeballs. All the Keese are going to be returning, and there's also like a Malice Keese that was shown. There was also an Octork eye that was shown, but I'm not sure if you can attach it to the arrows in the same way. But yeah, that's a thing. There are quite a few new enemy kinds. Let's see. I think there's one which I'll describe. It looked like a giant frog, and there were 3 different kinds. They weren't like red, blue, black, silver. It was just like, this one was blue and purple, this one is silver, and this one is like brown, and they have like these giant upper teeth that stick out of their mouths, and it's obvious that we're going to be able to use those teeth to craft weapons similarly to how you can with the Bokoblin horns and the Lizalfos horns and the Moblin horns and stuff like that. So yeah, that was something that was pretty cool. Also, you can do the same thing with Hinox's toenails. It's pretty cool. I don't think that there's going to be like much of a limit in terms of what we can put on our actual sword. Also, there was like a new kind of, I think it was like a dragon. Remember like the Gleeok that we saw in the trailer? I think they dropped like dragon nails, and you can put like the nails on your sword and use it for weapons. What else was there? There was a troll-like enemy, and it had like a horn, but like a bulky horn. It looked like the end of a hammer, sort of. So there was like a red one. I think it went all the way up to silver, but I feel like it followed like attributes. So the tier for those troll like enemies went like fire was the lowest tier, then like water was the second lowest tier, and then you had electric, which was the third highest, and then silver or malice or whatever as the fourth highest. And they all have these like crazy stumps as their horn, and you can put those on weapons also. Yeah, overall we have like a bunch of new enemy types, and that is just great to see, period. The next thing was Link had like a lot of armor sets. So I think there was something like heavily Zonai, and it was like very decorative around the arms, around the belt area, around the legs. It was like very Zonai like decor. Link was wearing a mask. Also, in one of them, it looked like a Rito mask. Pretty cool. Link also has a wingsuit that will probably impact the way that he is able to fly. You know, when he's spreading his arms out like this, you know, it's just like a wingsuit. But also, I think I saw like an underwater sort of suit. It was bluish. Might not have been underwater, but there was like a hook on the side on like his waistband, and then he had like webbed rubber feet. So I think that there will be definitely some underwater gameplay. Also, there were like fish, like different fish that glow different colors. So yeah, I think that there is going to be some sort of underwater gameplay. Hopefully that's what a lot of us want. Also the NPCs, they got an upgrade. They're new. There's like a new shop that I saw in the Elden region, and there's like a Goron. I feel like you're able to walk up to him and he might be able to like cook you something. That's what like the new sort of shop looked like, the food shop. I think it's still going to be in Goron City, but yeah, the NPCs definitely got an upgrade. There's like Sheikah NPCs, there's Knight NPCs. They built a structure around the Sacred Ground ruins, so there's obviously no more guardians there, but there's like think the entrance of Hateno Village. It kind of looks like that, but there's like 2 guards standing outside out front. There's also a new monster mask, and it didn't really correspond with any of the monsters that I saw, any of the new monsters that I saw in the book, rather. If I had to guess, it kind of looked like the new troll like monster that I saw, but it didn't like strictly resemble it. So maybe there is another new enemy type. Also, there is like new animals, but they just look like reskins of animals that were already in the game. So like, for instance, I think there's like a crane, but for instance, it looks like a heron, just like it had more hair. And then there's a frog, but it looked like a poison dart frog, which is literally just take the frog in Breath of the Wild and give it different colors. That's basically what it was. There's also like seagulls. I mean, like it's pretty much nothing crazy. We saw the new remember in the very first teaser where we saw Link and Zelda ride that like big creature with the 2 big horns? We saw that, and then we also saw the lady who stuck her hand out to Link in the trailer. People say that it's Goddess Hylia. We still don't know. It's still not like confirmed or not. I saw a different Reddit post say, oh, this is not the same character as the one that we saw in the trailer, but it obviously looks like it. Basically all of Link's armor sets returned from Breath of the Wild. They're going to be making an appearance in Tears of the Kingdom, pretty much all of them. You had the Flamebreaker set, the male Gerudo set, the rubber set, the Knight's armor. It's pretty much everything is pretty much there. And then we also have like a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of new armor, but yeah, I won't get into the details. There's going to be a new Sheikah Slate. It kind of looks like the Nintendo Switch. Something that was with the art of the Sheikah Slate was that wire that we saw when Link activated the tower. In the art, it was like on Link's chest or something, or on his waist or something like that. I still don't know the significance of that, but there is like a Sheikah Slate. It's thinner. It resembles a Nintendo Switch. I'm not gonna lie. It literally, it looks a lot like this. Okay, it looks a lot like this. There's a new like Lord of the Rings. I said Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Mountain sort of creature. It's like a frog, but it has the same aesthetic as the Lord of the Mountain except it's a frog and it has more eyes. Also, there are parts of the Sky Islands which hold doors, and I think going into those doors leads you to a huge area inside, because we saw in the leaks like cave areas, but they were obviously had the aesthetic of like the Sky Islands. And then we saw like a sky island that was risen high above the air, and it had like a door in it. So I think that these are going to be like dungeons. Like they did show like a lot of dungeon like areas. There's one with like the swirling green spiral, which we think are going to be points where you can travel to on your map once you activate them, sort of how shrines acted when you walked up to it and held your Sheikah Slate up, like travel locations. There was one clearly in like a sky temple, and it was behind like a big gate. There's also like a sky island which obviously came from the Hebra region. It had snow everywhere, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, this game is going to be insane. This new info is, you know, again, you can see it. Just go to like other channels and they'll have the link in the description. But yeah, it's not like major spoilers. Like again, you could guess a lot of the things that were going to be in the leaks that were shown, but obviously like this is official confirmation, and Nintendo's like cracking down on like the footage, so that's why I just thought I'd describe it to you. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to rate the video, check out the links in the description below, and consider subscribing. We are on our Tears of the Kingdom shit until the game drops, I'm telling you, and even after the game drops. Hopefully I get this video out by the 20th. Hopefully you're seeing this by the 20th. If that's the case, just know that we have some good Splatoon footage coming up, okay? Love you all, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in another video.